What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. New video. Today I want to talk about one of the most impactful days of my life when it comes to my prison term. Before I get into the video, I want to get a little. This is a very personal video, and it means a lot to me. So, for those of you that don't know, when I was arrested in 1993, my fiance was 8 weeks pregnant. And I knew what I had done. I knew in my mind, in my heart, I'm never seeing the streets again, right? And I knew she was pregnant. And anyways, so my daughter was born while I was in the county jail. And then I got sent off to the CDC, California Department of Corrections, right? In 1995, the one and only time that I saw my daughter during those 24 years of incarceration was in 1995. No. It was 1996. Anyways, I know she was a year and a half. I think it was 1996. End of 1995, something like that. It's irrelevant, right? The math ain't mathing for me right now, but the message is what I want to get to. Remember, my daughter was about 18 months old, and my ex, she brought her to see me. And I remember being happy I was going to see my daughter, right? But the pettiness of who I was, I went out to that visiting room. I grabbed my daughter. I held my daughter. I kissed my daughter. She was walking around. She was so beautiful. And I ignored her mother. Didn't want to talk to her. I was mad at her. Imagine the audacity of who I was back then. She never left me. I left her and my daughter. I remember the very first visit I got in the county jail after I got picked up. And she asked me, she said, "I'm going to ask you a question. I want you to answer me." I said, "What?" She said, "When all that was happening, when you guys were talking and then everything happened and you were chasing this guy down, did you think about me and the baby once? Were we even a thought?" Without hesitation, I said no. I was handling business. That person, that's why, when people call me by my old nickname, Joker, and I don't know why they think, like, everybody that knows me knows that's my nickname, but I always say this: Joker, I left him in prison. That's where he belonged. Look at that. The two people that's supposed to mean the most to me in life, I didn't think about them for a second when I decided I'm gunning these dudes down. And the person that I was, I actually wanted to hit all of them. But during the whole, running around and everybody getting in each other's way, it didn't happen that way. Thankfully. But back to that day. I sat in the visiting room. I did wind up talking to my ex a little tiny bit. She asked me some stuff. I really didn't want to talk to her. Again, I had the audacity, the arrogance, the immaturity to be mad at her. When I was in the county jail, she had told me, because I told her I can't be with you. And she had told me, no, I'll wait for you, this and this and that. And, you know, mind you, this woman had gone through juvenile hall, you know, me going in and out of juvenile hall during our relationship, me going to group home, me going to camp, escaping from camp twice, the California Youth Authority. And here she is now, knowing I'm going to go away for the rest of my life and saying, I'm all right with you. I said, nope. Because I knew back then, you get life in California, you're dying in there, period. You're dying on the yard, you're dying in the cell, you're dying incarcerated, period. And I told her, I can't do time thinking about anything that's outside of the walls. That's how people hesitate. That's how people slip. Go do you. Find somebody that's going to accept you and accept my daughter and raise my daughter as his own. And that's what she did. Again, thankfully. They're still together to this day. But I still had the audacity to be upset with her. And a crazy thing happened that day. We're sitting there and I'm trying to like enjoy spending time with my daughter. I really was. Like as much as I could, I was. But I'm being a dick to my ex, which she didn't have coming. She didn't have to drive 7 hours to bring me my daughter. But during the visit, at one point, a bunch of cops come running through visiting, heading into our facility. And you know, when you're in prison and you see something like that, you immediately got to find out what the hell happened on the yard. Because once the visitors leave the visiting room, it can get ugly. Visiting rooms are always off limits, but based on what may or may not have happened, you got to know. You got to be ready, right? So I walked over and I asked one of the visiting room porters, hey, do me a favor, find out what happened. He said, I'm listening on the radio. They're sitting right by the cops, so they're listening. About 20 minutes later, maybe 30, I don't remember how much time went by, but a little bit later, he waves to me. It was a guy named Vince. If I remember right, his name was Vince. He was from San Francisco. And he waves to me because he's not going to approach the table. So I tell my ex, let me go find out what happened. I went. Turns out there was this dude on the yard, and I did a video about this a long time ago. There was this white dude, man, cool dude, youngster, a little younger than me. And he had an old lady. She was a model, like literally on magazine covers and everything, right? And long story short, because he used to call, she wouldn't take the call. He used to call, she wouldn't take the call. And that day, apparently, he called this girl. And Sancho answered the phone. Her new man answered the phone. And her new man told him, hey man, why don't you stop calling already? You're not getting out. All you're doing is weighing her down, and I'm taking over. So do me a favor and don't call anymore. She doesn't want to hear from you. The youngster hung the phone up, went to his cell, and then hung himself up. He took his own life. And the homie told me, because everybody knew the dude, you know, that dude's old lady's a model. So he's like, you know that youngster? So he ran me down. So I was like, okay, cool. I walk back, I sit down, and she asked me, what happened? And I told her. And she was blown away. And I told her, this is why I couldn't do time with you. This is why most of us, we cut you guys loose. I can't be worried about what's going on out there. And anyways, to me, the most important part of this video is this. As much as I ignored her, didn't want to talk to her, didn't really interact with her, when that visit was over, I stood up. I grabbed my daughter. I stood up. I was hugging my daughter. And when I went to hand her back to her mom, she hugged me and she stole a little kiss. Just a quick little kiss, right? Just to let me know, like, you know, whatever. And I remember when they walked away, I remember them walking away and thinking, that's my fucking family. I was standing in a visiting room full of a bunch of killers. Bunch of dudes that were never going to get out of prison. We were all going to die in prison. Back then, nobody was getting out. The law didn't change yet. And I was watching what I had always wanted walk out the door. I never wanted to go to visiting again after that. For what? So, you know, I always try to tell you guys, man, the reality of what it is in there. No matter what's going on out here that leads somebody to addiction or leads somebody to criminality or gangbanging, you don't want that. I promise you, things can get better out here. In there, things can get a whole lot fucking worse. That's my video for today, man. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Everybody, please be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them, man. I'm out of here.